Hello, everybody. This is Mark and Frank from the Entrepreneurs Talking About Stuff podcast, the E-Task podcast. Today, it is Valentine's Day today, and today we're going to be talking about failure. We're going to talk about a lot.
Yes, well, that definitely means we're single. If
no,
we're doing this
that's nothing wrong with being single. Frank,
nothing wrong.
You know, and this is actually a great point. We're going to be talking about failure, talking about mindset, talking about entrepreneurship, the realities, expectations, and some of the people out there who may be, realities versus expectations, big hat, no cattle. So let's start it off with some affirmations, actually. I mean, the reason we're talking about failures, I had a pretty big failure this week, actually, and it's kind of funny because I wanted to do this subject last week, and Frank was like, no, we can't talk about that stuff. But the reality is it is a big part of entrepreneurship. And so this week, I had a SKU that got delisted because of quality issues. But we can,
on Amazon, because you do Amazon.
I do Amazon. I'm doing pretty good on Amazon. I don't want to disclose numbers. I wouldn't consider. I mean, I've talked about this with you. I feel that like the title entrepreneur is a little premature for me. I mean, I think I am an entrepreneur, but I don't. Don't you find that the term entrepreneur just gets thrown around too much nowadays?
Well, I saw that YouTube video of the guy going, entrepreneur, Tesla.
Yeah.
And
but it's kind of true, though, no?
I get it. Yeah, I get it.
Like, I don't know. I feel like the waters have been muddied with what everybody talks about in terms of like, yo, I'm an entrepreneur, bro. Like, look at me. And they just put some pictures of them with the Tesla on Instagram or something and a Lamborghini that they rented. But anyway, so Frank, you once said that you would be a multimillionaire in your mom's basement. And
yeah.
that ended up happening. Funny. So can we talk about that for a little bit? Sure.
I said, I don't know. I started doing business. I started the furniture business in my mom's basement, right? And I said, I was living with my parents at the time. I said, geez, I'll probably grow a multi-million-dollar business. And I'll probably still be living, with my mom. Well, I was recording right in the basement.
Yeah.
And it ended up happening, right? But it wasn't like, not like, when you say multi-millionaire or millionaire, it's like your net worth, right?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Kind of, yeah. So that did happen. But like, I wasn't super, we're talking about affirmations, right? Like I wasn't super into affirmations back then. I knew that goal setting was the right thing to do. I knew a little bit that you should do visualizations and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like since I was doing a furniture company at the time, I actually took a picture of IKEA, and instead of, I photoshopped out the IKEA and I put in there instead. So I heard a little bit about that. Even our friend Paul heard a lot about that when he started his Amazon business. He took a check and he wrote the amount of money he was going to get paid. There's a story too of Jim Carrey doing that, right? There's a lot of entrepreneurs that get these ideas for the visualization. It all comes from that one book, Think and Grow Rich, mm-hmm. right? Which has a lot to do with writing down your goals, visualizing them.
Okay,
right?
yeah, but and when you say visualize them, can you give me an example? Because honestly, I don't really do that, and maybe I should, but
yeah. Well, there's a few steps, and I don't know them all by heart, but I think the main ones I get is, okay, you well, I guess I listen to a bunch of these business guys or read these business books, and so I get the information from a few places. But the idea first is to, if your goal is to become, like, let's say a billionaire, mm-hmm. or you have big goals, to think big, to have really big goals. Because I mean, even Trump said it. I even read one of his books in like 2016.
Can we talk about Trump? Are we going to get banned? I guess we can.
No, it's okay. Look, Trump was running for president, and I don't know. My dad wasn't really anti-Trump. I don't know if my dad was anti-Trump or not. I don't know what his political views were, but he gave me one of Trump's books, and that was in 2016 while I was launching the furniture business. And in that book, he did say, if you're going to think, you might as well think big. It doesn't cost anything to think big, right?
Well, what do you think about setting goals that are too big that you'll never achieve? For example, the SMART. People say needs to be specific, measurable.
You have to be able to do the $1 million math, right? Your math, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I do think it's better to set goals bigger than what you naturally tend to go for.
Mm-hmm.
So, like,
yeah, that's a good point. You know that, because even with my business, I feel like it's funny because initially my first product, I was like, hey, I'm gonna try and do this as a side gig, just like whatever, make some cash, and just test the waters. And it's funny because I was like, hey, let's just see, I want to learn and cut my teeth and take a small risk and see what happens. And it's funny because I thought that, and that's what happened on my first SKU. I mean, luckily that SKU is making me, I could theoretically live off the cash flow of that SKU and not live like a crazy
that's the
life,
point.
but
You have to be super careful how you set your goals, because I'm just spewing out more like things that I've read, but like what you could look at as a goal, or you could also look at it as a problem. And your brain looks at it as a problem. Like I want to become, let's say, I want to make $5 million revenue in a year. You could set that as a goal, but your brain is going, there's a problem. You want to make $5 million and in a year, and your subconscious needs to figure it out. So that's the other thing that they say to do, right? Is to set goals, but the other thing, you have to obsess over the goal. So that's where the visualization comes in. You have to actually have the desire for it, and then when you're obsessing over it, you're thinking about it every night or in the morning. That's why before going to bed, I write down my goals. I look at them. I visualize them. And that's part of the obsession, right? Like, and so then while you're sleeping, your brain is trying to figure out all those problems that need to be solved in order for you to hit that goal. So it's the power of the subconscious mind. It's not like some magical, like The Secret type thing. It's really just like a goal is a problem, and we like solving problems.
Wow,
so
okay, I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. So if you set a big goal for yourself, I've set ridiculous goals for myself. Yeah. Like if I look at my goal that I set last, a year and a half ago, I said my first year in business, I'm going to do $100 million. It was a completely unrealistic goal, but at least the energy that I put into it to try and get there. Now in my, let's say, second year in business, I'm not going to be too far off from like, it's not going to be like, oh, I can't imagine hitting 100 million in like 2 years from now. It's not going to be like, it's not a ridiculous thing anymore. So like the more, that's why I really believe that. I mean, I think a lot of high performance people believe that. I know those Paul brothers, right? Not a lot, like
Logang, what's up,
Logang?
But yeah, whatever.
Yeah, but I was watching one of their podcasts, and the guy was saying that he got injured or something, and he was bedridden, and in his bed he was writing down all his goals he's saying I'm going to manifest these goals, and he's writing down all those goals. I'm like, yeah, man, that's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to write it down. And a lot of people that have accomplished big things have done it. It sounds so simple, but it's not just the writing down, right? Like you have to put discipline.
You know what I think, though? I think that the people who write them down are the kind of people who are naturally just going to attain them. Do you know what I mean? I feel like there's people, like, I don't know, like for me, I don't know, I feel like when I set my mind to something, whether that's learning guitar or like flying a plane or starting a business or whatever it is, it's like, I don't know, I'll achieve it. Obviously there's going to be bumps along the way, but and going to that point too, what I find is interesting, like we could talk about gurus a little bit, but I find also the people you surround yourself with, like being around you guys, for example, it's helped me a lot in terms of like not necessarily getting out of my comfort zone. I'm generally a guy who gets out of my comfort zone anyway. I like to experiment and like try things and take risks. But I think specifically when it comes to like goal setting, like for example, my goal for the end of 2021 is I'd like to do $6,000 US a day in revenue. So that's what I'd like to do, and I think that I will attain that goal. And I'd like to have a 30% margin net after everything's paid. I mean, I don't know how realistic the margin's going to be, if that's like a gross margin. I mean, gross margin 30 fine, but after tax and everything, probably around like 25 or something. But like definitely if I hadn't been with like Paul and you, I don't think I would have set the goals that high. And I think that,
there's that saying, you want to know your future, look at the people around you.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a popular saying, and that always resonated with me when I heard that. I was like, man, that makes so much sense.
It is true.
Be careful who you surround yourself with.
It is true.
Right?
Yeah. It's
and
true.
That's why rich people, like super rich people, have quite an advantage in their mindset.
Yeah.
It's like you're born into a rich family and a rich neighborhood, and you're seeing all these people do all these big things. Of course, you're going to be a big thinker, right? But
but obviously, I will play devil's advocate here. I will say that obviously having money changes things, right? If you're going to do, let's say, $1 million a year in revenue, it's much easier to do $1 million a year in revenue if you're starting with 10 million, right? Like, or some ridiculous amount of money. If you're starting with 100,000, okay, and turning that into $1 million, that's much more difficult. Like, so that's what I will say.
I've started multiple businesses with not a lot of startup cash. Sure.
But
so I think the mindset is more valuable. The mindset that you could get from being raised in a rich neighborhood, a rich family,
it's true.
Is pretty cool.
And specifically,
but
in a business, in a business family too, right? I think if you like, the thing is, I think a lot of people think of money the wrong way. I think a lot of people look at money like because the thing is, money can be two things, right? It could be capital, and there's kind of a distinction between money and capital, but they're the same thing. Like, capital at the end of the day is money, right? But capital, when you look at, like, when money to a business is not the same thing as money to an individual. Like, money to a business is capital, and capital to a person is like cash, right? So the way people think about, like, money, on a day-to-day basis is like saving and like saving that money. But in a business, you use money to double it, triple it, or use it to grow.
Mark Cuban said, I like the way Mark Cuban said it. He just said, business, what's business? Multiplying capital.
Yeah, exactly.
That's all it is.
That's
just
really
multiplying
what it is.
capital.
Yeah.
What's advertising? Multiplying capital.
It's true.
I'm just going to put money in and I'm going to make more money.
Yeah.
Or when so... But in terms of the growing up in this and that, nowadays you have YouTube.
Yeah, that's so true.
You get to hang out with these gurus or these guys. And I did do that. I really do appreciate those people. Yeah. There's one guru that I do blame for me losing my first multi-million-dollar business.
Wait. Let me guess. Is it Gary Vee?
Yeah,
oh.
I was a fan of Gary Vee when I was starting up this furniture business, right? Like he was big poppin' in 2016, and so let's look at his background. What's Gary Vee's background? He it's cool, right? He started Wine Library. He took his parents' company and he turned it into a $100 million a year business.
Yeah,
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
right. But then some of the things he says to his followers, I think he was just too agreeable. I wish to God I was listening to Dan Peña at the time, right?
Yeah.
Like,
well, you know what? Whoa. I'm going to say, look, I'll tell you my quick opinion on gurus, and it's kind of the same thing with just advice in general. You have to watch out who's giving you the advice. The thing is, I feel like gurus are kind of like horoscopes. They say very vague things that apply to a lot of situations.
Yeah, it's supposed to apply to everybody.
Yeah,
exactly.
And that's the thing. So they're just saying, like, do it. Yeah, but like, it's not.
That's exactly what happened to me. He had this pretty vague thing that you could look at as a good saying, right? Like he said this, and he probably does apply it in his business life. He definitely did apply it in his $100 million thing, right? Because he grew his parents' company to $100 million, and then he brags. He said, "And I didn't keep any of it. I just gave it to my parents." But whatever. When your parents die, they're going to give it to you.
Yeah, it's in the family. Yeah,
it's not a big deal. And then he said, "You know who I am? I'm the guy who will take 49% and give 51% to the other guy or whatever."
Why?
He said that as I don't know, but he was just spewing that. He said, like, I take less. I'm there, I'm there. I'm an agreeable guy. And I guess I had that guy in my head. So when my partner came to me and said, okay, let's do this deal where, I get 45%, you get 45%, this random guy gets 10%. I said, yeah, that sounds like a pretty good idea. Now, if I would have been listening to Dan Peña, Gary Vee says, "Oh yeah, let's all be giving. Life is great."
The thing is, it's so easy for him to say that, though. It's super unspecific,
it's easy for him to say,
vague garbage, right?
He had a good business life, right? But like Dan Peña, on the other hand, said something like, "I've been fucked in every single hole in my body," right? And I mean, what happened to Dan Peña is he started a business. I think it was an oil business. I'm not sure what it was. I just listened to hours of this guy. I love this guy. Mm-hmm. And he said that he grew this business. He made it public. He made everyone, his partners, fabulously rich. And then they kicked him out, right? Yeah. So, he had a really good idea of how people could just be backstabbing bastards, right? So if I would have been listening to him, or I would have imagined, what would Dan Peña think about this deal? He would say, "Are you fucking crazy? Don't do it."
It's true though.
Don't do it, right? But like instead, I was listening to the very agreeable fairy tale guy. So
but you know what I will say?
Look,
I will say that I don't think it's as simple as always being like, I will not be agreeable. I will be agreeable. Mm-hmm. I think that sometimes you have to be agreeable. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes. And that's the problem with advice is it's not life in general is not black and white.
Well, dude,
it's not though.
This is black and white.
This is black. No, of course this is. But look, I'm not going to say that being agreeable all the time is a good thing. And I won't say that being disagreeable all the time is a good thing either. You have to pick and choose when you're going to apply that.
Yeah, sure, but there is a black and white to it.
In that specific situation, of course, that was stupid. Of course, yeah.
But no, just in general, usually the mega rich or the mega successful, they're disagreeable people.
Yeah,
and they might paint themselves as being like Mark Zuckerberg or on TV, or even Warren Buffett on TV, looking like, "Hey, I just drink Coca-Cola and eat McDonald's. I just go on jogs with my crew." A lot of these people are disagreeable, and because there's that saying, you get in life what you tolerate.
Yeah.
And if you tolerate a lot of bullshit, you're gonna get a lot of bullshit.
Yeah.
So it has to do with just trusting people, and I came from I'm just an honest person. I'm not out to fuck people, right? And because I just. Our buddy Paul said when we went on vacation, this guy lied to us for a few days about who he was.
Hilarious.
And
that's crazy.
He just said, I'm just an honest person, so I immediately just believe everyone's telling the truth, right?
Yeah.
So
it is true though. I mean, look, I agree with you. I'll always default to the honesty side. I believe I trust people until they screw me over, and then I don't trust them anymore. And I don't know, sometimes I feel like it might be better to just not trust people at all. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I don't know, it's hard. You got to balance that,
right? If someone's listening out there and they're listening to Gary Vee, the 20 people that are listening to us, if you're a fan of Gary Vee, you got to start listening to some Dan Peña. Get that.
I love it. Dan Peña is hilarious. Yeah, and Dan Peña,
he's amazing.
But you know what? What do you think about a balance? In terms of a little bit of everything? I mean, I don't think it would be bad.
Well, look, I'm not shitting completely all over Gary Vee. He's a very successful guy, and maybe he just hides I don't know. I haven't listened to his content in a while, but maybe he just hides those stories about getting screwed over, or maybe he's just so smart he doesn't connect with these people that are going to screw him over because he's good at identifying who they are and just staying away from them, right? But for those of us who are not lucky enough to always identify those kinds of people and to just kick them out of our lives, it's nice to get a perspective from someone that's just don't trust anybody. That Dan Peña, I've been fucked by everybody. I'm not going to trust anyone, right?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, no, that's about it. That sums it all up. There is it's you have to be careful who you listen to, right?
Yeah.
When it comes to these but like you said, get a balance, right? Because
balance,
let's say
balance.
Let's say in a relationship, okay, in a relationship, you give the other person more, right? Don't be so greedy. But in business, it's a lot of the times in partnerships. money could change a lot of things, right? Greed could change a lot of things.
I do think that also, yeah, you know what? Look, at the end of the day, you have to realize that also they respond to incentives. They like, look, if somebody has the incentive to do something that is in their interest and it's not in your interest, right? Like, if they're incentivized to fuck you, they will. And like, I feel like that's the normal state of being. Like, and so I don't know, like I've been, maybe not, I don't want to say the F word, I've already said it, but I've been screwed in every hole, maybe not twice like Dan Peña, but I've been screwed around quite a bit in my life. And, and like the thing is, a lot of the times it was in the interest of the person to screw me over. So nothing really surprises me anymore. Like I know what people are capable of, and everybody, I feel like a lot of the times, like if people have, if it's in their interest or the price is right, they'll do it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's kind of true that money will change people. And I think that money will change people. There's certain people, I think that, it's an amplifier. But I did want to get back to one thing. Like, it's funny, you talk about, or it's not funny, I should say, but you talk about, these ultra rich people and things along those lines. But to me, like entrepreneurship, I think that even if I got paid, nothing, for example, like obviously I want to get paid what I'm worth, but I think for me, the rush and the excitement and the creativity of building the business is like super fun. I find it so much fun. So like what do you think your main motivation is? Like for you, do you think it's money?
I look at it as a sport. Yeah. So like a game, right? Yeah. Like Mark Cuban says that too. Like it's a game, and it's fun when you're playing high stakes.
Yeah.
So we were talking about thinking big before and gurus, and one guru I do like is Grant Cardone. I like his simple saying 10x, whatever you're thinking, just 10x it, right? And I also like, I think it was Mark Cuban who said it's like in business, everyone's your enemy, everyone's out to kill you, right? It's war. So I like looking at it as that competitive side. And it literally is war. Like when I was in the furniture business, I think I told you that story. We started, there's a business here that does like around 300 million a year, and we're like just this new small furniture startup. And I looked at their sofa selection and I said, I could kill this sofa selection. I could do a way better job, right? And I brought in two containers of sofas, two 40-foot containers. Yeah. I sold it all.
How quickly?
With a very, very small budget on Facebook. This is 2016.
Whoa, you sold it on Facebook?
I sold, Facebook ads. I sold it all using Facebook ads, sending people to the website, and I spent. Okay, see,
what I thought you did was I thought you sold it via like Facebook Marketplace, but
no. Okay. So I spent a very small budget, my daily budget, believe it or not. This is 2016, so I don't think you could do this anymore.
Yeah.
And of course, product matters. You have to fill a hole in the market.
Yeah, of course.
I was filling a hole in the market. There was nothing cool.
Yeah.
There wasn't anyone that was selling this. I kind of brought something fresh to the market, and I spent $35 per day.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Wow.
To sell 2 containers of sofas.
Jesus, and so I was like, wow, have made a ton of money, eh?
Well, I made some money on that, but then the part that the war story part is, okay, time to reorder. I reorder it, and then the big competitor, the big boss competitor comes, they copy some of my models and they sell it way cheaper. And the way cheaper price that they're selling it at, it's not enough margins for us to say, this makes sense for us. It was enough for us to quit.
Really?
To quit selling sofas. I think personally, I look back right now, and this is another reason why I think that guy who screwed me over, I think he's going to fail in life. He quit. I would have been like, no, let's continue, right? But he said, let's put these sofas aside and focus on other things. And it's kind of ridiculous to be a furniture company not selling sofas. So I think that was pretty dumb. But, you live and you learn.
Yeah.
But that was like a company that was like, oh, okay, you're doing well. I want to crush you, So, and that's fun, right? It sucks, lose money. But that's business, right? And you have to pivot. And who knows? Maybe that was the right pivot. I'm saying that was stupid, but I personally think it's stupid. I would have continued try to figure it out, right? But he said, no, let's step away. These guys are killing us right now.
Well, look, that's actually a good point. I think a lot of people say like giving up is like quitting is bad, but that's what I think quitting. There's a lot of upside to quitting, and maybe you should have kept going in that situation. But it kind of makes me think about quitting. Like I don't think you should quit being an entrepreneur, for example. Like I think you should continue, and you can switch markets. You can always pivot. You can do so many different things. But like quitting, for example. In that instance, maybe you could have figured it out, but a lot of people are afraid to quit things. They're afraid to leave relationships that they hate. They're afraid of this and they're afraid of that for the unknown. But everyone tells you like, oh, my mama didn't raise a quitter. But you know what? Giving up sometimes is very worth it, in my opinion.
I mean,
maybe not in that
people have said it a lot, right?
What's that?
When it comes to competitors and war or whatever, like a lot of people, it's a common saying that it's a good thing, right? Like that same competitor, they took one of our best selling chairs and they lowered the price really, really low where we're like, okay, I guess we have to give up on this chair. Yeah. But because we gave up on that chair, we had to find other best selling chairs, and those best sellers helped to really speed up the business, right? So a competitor could push you into another direction, but sometimes when they push you into that other direction, you find something that is better anyways, right?
Well, obviously. And I think, what's interesting too is it's funny because everyone will always say, I think a lot of people say, oh, that's been done before, or that's been done before. Or when like somebody who's never started a business, they come up with a business idea and they say, oh, somebody's already doing it. But like literally everything is being done. But as long as you can do it better, you'll make money. You'll succeed. So like, I guess my point is that there's always a way. You know what I mean? And like, if you're in a business, like you don't have to just stick with one thing. You can always change. So anyway, maybe that was a little irrelevant, but anyway. All right. What else did we want to talk about today? What did we want to talk about? Let's do.
Well, I think you said you wanted to touch on. Why the heck are we doing a podcast?
Why are we?
Your podcast background.
So why are we doing a podcast, Frank? Tell me. Why are we? I think we have different reasons.
We're going to go back to Grant Cardone. I really love his saying. Yeah. He says, money follows attention, right? Mm-hmm. So get attention, you're going to make money. Yep. So I don't know where this podcast is going, if it's going to make money. By the way, if you're still listening, subscribe, because if we don't get subscribers, we're definitely going to give up.
Yeah, we're quitting.
We got better things to do.
We do.
We got better things to do. Unless we could get a lot of subscribers and get a lot of attention. And if we get a lot of attention, I think money's going to follow, right? Money's probably going to follow. So, and when you have attention, you could use that attention to do a lot of things, right?
That's
connections true. and all that sort of thing, networking. Eventually, we said we were wanting to make this a business podcast, right?
Yes.
And so eventually we're going to interview entrepreneurs, and that's part of the networking thing, right? Mm-hmm. Meeting other people, learning from them learning from us, and that's great. But I think we're also going to do some dating podcasts here and there.
Yeah, we'll have fun ones too. We can't always be super serious. Yeah, well, we can't be super serious all the time. I think we gotta.
Yeah. I like doing things different. Yeah, I like doing things different.
Yeah, but I think it's going to be a good balance between serious and fun. And I mean, you gotta have some fun as well, but you can't take yourself too seriously. For me, this podcast is. I agree with what you're saying. I'm not necessarily looking for the money here. Like for me, it's a lot of fun, and I think there's like we're just gonna I like to spend an hour or two a week talking with you and whoever we have on, and I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, and just to see where we can take this. I do have a YouTube history, and you said you actually, funny enough, don't you know Steven Crowder?
Yeah, I told you that.
Let's hear that story.
Okay, yeah, we could. This is an interesting one. So I could say that Steven Crowder and his family kind of shaped the direction of my life.
Okay, but is that clickbait, or how much is that honest? Oops, how honest are you?
Here I'll give you the whole story.
Yeah, let's go.
So when I was 14, I started playing drums.
Yeah.
and I was into punk rock because my sister was into punk rock.
Yeah.
And she's like, I have a friend, and he plays guitar, and why don't you guys jam together? Jam means play music together, right? So that friend was Jordan Crowder. It was Steven Crowder's older brother, and he would come over every now and then, and I would play drums, he would play guitar, and we would jam, and it was a lot of fun. And then after that, I joined a band. We did music, and my sister eventually started a band with Jordan Crowder called Cattywampus, and they were like a punk rock band. And Jordan would promote these shows, and I was 16 at the time, and I was getting into metal and that aggressive music, right? And he put on this show. Cattywampus played, and his brother was there. His brother. I knew his brother because we were friends. We were in, what do you call it? Drama class together. I actually won a trophy for drama or whatever, an award.
Oh, that's awesome.
In the same class that he was in. So that was cool, and we would do the skits together. But actually, I'm going to side note from the band story. So back to Steven Crowder. When we were, I was 16 years old. This was like grade 10. We were hanging out, and I had this friend, Nancy was her name, and she was like a pretty blonde girl, and she had a friend called Amanda. I was going to say I don't remember how I became friends with them. I think it was through my band or through going to the bar. You know, when you're 16 years old, in Quebec, anyways, the drinking age is 18.
Okay, I was like, I couldn't get into bars when I was 16.
Yeah.
Man, I looked like I was 12.
Mm-hmm.
It was, but anyway,
we would all sneak into the bar, and I don't know. That's how I guess I've become friends with these people. Mm-hmm. And so two pretty blonde girls. And they had a talent show coming up at their high school. So we didn't go to their high school. And I said to Steven, I said, hey, let's go to their talent show. And so me and Steven go to the talent show. And I said to him, at the time I wrote an R&B song for my band, and it's actually on the record that we released. It's like at the end, it's like a bonus song. And I said, let's just at the show, it was like I didn't plan it or anything. I said, let's get on stage, because they're not going to know that we don't go to this school, and let's perform. I'm going to sing a song and you're going to dance. Okay. So I take a guitar from my friend. I said, let me go on. He because he's in a band and he's going to perform. So he gives me the guitar. I go on stage. He goes on stage. I sing this R&B song. I kind of just remember the chorus. The chorus is like, it's some cheesy R&B song, and it's like, girl, I really want you. I really want you. Girl, I really want you in my arms. Girl, I really want you. I really want you. Girl, I really want you in my arms. And terrible singing, really off key. My teacher in high school, when I asked her, I did a talent show, and I asked her, hey, can I do the talent show again singing? She said, no, you can't sing, Frank. And that broke my heart.
Oh my God, that's so brutal. What?
Yeah, she was
crazy.
So I said,
actually,
we went on
let
stage.
me do a little funny story here. When I was in grade 3, little aside here. When I was in grade 3, I had the song It Wasn't Me? She baby caught me on the counter. Anyway, I was obsessed with that song. I had no idea what it was about, and I wanted to perform it in my elementary school talent show singing, and obviously they didn't let me. So anyway, go ahead, Frank. Sorry.
Yeah, so I was singing that R&B song, and Steven was dancing to it, touching his nipples. He was doing this touching his nipple dance, and it was funny, right? And we had a lot of fun. We got like a lot of, it was like shock comedy or whatever. We got a huge adrenaline rush from doing it. And so when I saw him a few years later doing all that shock comedy stuff, I was like, man, I wonder if he got that from our experience together. Just going on stage at a random show.
Do you think? Go ahead. Do you think he'd remember you?
Well, we were close enough. I mean, when I was look, one of my songs was the intro for his YouTube channel back in the day. Back in the day when he used to go to Detroit to show how broke Detroit was. Yeah. He messaged me and say, hey Frank, can I use your song as my intro to my YouTube? Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, sure, no problem. He got that in an email.
That's crazy.
And then
that's cool.
So how it changed my sister's life, right? So I'll go back to his brother putting on these shows. The brother puts on this show, and at the show, I meet this guy who sees me playing drums at the end. Like the show's done, I'm playing drums. This guy sees me and basically says, "Oh, I'm in a band. You want to join it?" And I knew this guy in the scene. He was a pretty popular guy. I said, "Yeah, sure, I'll join the band." So that was the band that later on got signed, and we toured the United States, the UK. They eventually went to Japan, and they were kind of like not super successful, but toured enough where we toured with bands that later on became millionaires, right? Like I told you that, like Bring Me the Horizon, A Day to Remember.
Yeah.
And actually, we toured once with A Day to Remember, and we went to Texas, and Steven showed up. He's like, "Oh, hey, you're in town." And he showed up to the show. So we were close enough where, he would use my song on his podcast. And even in the early days when he started podcasting, I was in Texas recording, and he was like, "Oh, you're in Texas. I'm nearby." He said, one day maybe I could come over to your place and we could record some stuff. So I mean, it's cool to see what he's doing now. Yeah. I mean, I know he's a very controversial person, but like it's a business like anything else. And
show business, right?
Show business. Yeah. And I mean, doing the conservative thing. I mean, doing the conservative thing is like basically like being like a punk rocker these days.
It's actually true. That's actually a really good point. Have you spoken to him recently at all, or?
No.
Really?
Not at all. No. But wait, what was I saying? So the band thing. So I got into a band that I put how much of my life into? Like 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. I was 6 years in that band, right? Like, and then the guy who was in that band, the guitar player, he later on married my sister. So my sister wouldn't have gone and married to that guy. I wouldn't have been in a band, and because I was in a band, like all the things that happen in your life because of
one butterfly effect moment, right?
I mean, the brother put on that one show, and that one show kind of like shaped my life for the next 6 years. And I mean, it's not just because of him, but like, I mean, you know what I mean? If that show never happened, I wouldn't have been in this band for 6 years. My sister went to be married, and because I was in the band, I later on got married, right? Like, and then I started a business and all that. I could trace it all back to, like, if I had to tell a story about my life, the band would definitely be in it. And how did I get into that band? It was because of Jordan Crowder putting on a show. And then what happened is my sister, the boyfriend, is more liberal. Tends to be more of the liberal side of things.
Yeah, which is okay. We love liberals here, guys. We love liberals. We don't have a problem with liberals.
Yeah, we don't choose a side here. Yeah. But like, what happened was, he found out that because he co-wrote the song with me. Yeah. He found out that Steven was
Jordan. Right?
This is my sister's now husband. No, my sister's husband. Okay. Who was in the band with me. We co-wrote this song that Steven used it in his YouTube thing. And then he, when Steven started blowing up, he was like, "Man, I didn't give permission for this guy to use my song."
Really?
Right? So without asking me, he just emailed Steven and said, "You're going to take this down, or I'm going to sue you, or take it down immediately." But like having to take down the song means having to take down all the YouTube videos. Yeah. So Steven emailed my.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Well, which is ridiculous because that's how he makes money, right? Yeah. So Steven emailed my manager at the time and said, "Yo, he can't do this." Like he messaged me too. He said, "Dude, this is how I make my livelihood." Like, so then I told the guy, I was like, "Yo, dude, calm down. Like, he won't use it anymore." But like I think Steven wasn't going to use that song forever. But if he would have used it, for X amount of time more or whatever, maybe like it's not like that record did very well. Yeah. The record probably would have sold more if he was
left it up on his podcast. Exactly.
People might have been like, "What's this?" Right? But like, whatever.
Yeah. Frick, I had something to say. I forgot what it was. Shoot. Oh, damn. Damn. It was about that song. Oh, well, I forgot. It'll come back to me. But anyways, okay. Oh yeah, no, I lost it. Shoot.
Yeah.
But anyway.
But I mean, we're going back to the why are we doing a podcast thing. I mean, I just enjoy talking. I mean, I've had a lot of people
I could tell. I could tell. You love it, man. I could tell. I love talking too, but man,
I mean, I love talking to myself. So if
you know what I would say though, I think Frank,
what?
no homo. I can't even say that. Well, that's not politically correct. I think Frank, you're one of the most interesting people I've ever met in my life. Actually,
you haven't met that many people.
No, but dude, think about it. You've grown multiple businesses to multi-million-dollar levels. You play a ton of instruments. You have an interesting life. You have like an interesting history, right? You know, and it's kind of crazy that like how much you've accomplished in such a short period of time. And so, yeah, it's pretty cool, dude. So, and ladies, everybody listening here, Frank is single, and he's ready to mingle.
Well, Valentine's Day when we're doing this. But you know, you talk about life, like your life being original or feeling original, right? Yeah. I got another story for this one. When I was recording bands, I thought my life was really original. Like I thought to myself, here, if I had to line up everything I did, right? Yeah. I said to myself, wow, I record metal bands for a living, and I toured with this big band, Bring Me the Horizon. I toured Europe. I toured, what else did I do? I did an album that was released on Epitaph Records. What else? So those are three major things, right? Touring with a famous rock band in Europe, releasing a record on a nice label, recording metal bands for a living. I thought my life was original. And then I found out someone a few blocks away from me had the same resume. He was signed. Oh yeah, I forgot to say. I was signed to a record label called Century Media Records. He was signed to the same label. He toured with Bring Me the Horizon. I toured with Bring Me the Horizon. He toured. He recorded a band that was released on Epitaph Records. I recorded like our whole life, like the highlights of our life were the same. So I mean.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't change the fact that, just because you did it and someone else did it doesn't mean it's not cool.
Yeah, but I'm just saying how life is funny, right? I'm just saying how life is funny. Sometimes you think you have the most original life and you could find someone down the street
you know what?
with the same life.
Charles de Gaulle said it. He said, the cemeteries are full of cemeteries are full of people who were supposedly unreplaceable, So... I mean, maybe that's not necessarily the best analogy, but it is true. I mean, the uniqueness of life. How unique is everybody's life? I mean, there are a lot of similarities. I think a lot of people, I mean, it's interesting that. But I mean, the life is nuanced, and everybody has like a completely unique life. So I don't know. In terms of like what you've told me and your experiences, I think it is pretty cool. So yeah, and it's funny like in terms of pilots as well. I don't want to talk bad on the industry, but like. I don't know, to me being a pilot is not like the coolest thing in the world, and it's funny that a lot of pilots think that like it's like, whoa, I'm a pilot, like yo, it's so cool.
Yeah, dude. But dude, you have the pilot posture.
Oh, so what? That doesn't mean anything, man. Big deal.
You ever meet a pilot that had a hunchback? Like
I don't know, maybe, but perhaps. Okay. But
they got great posture. Great posture.
I guess I don't know. I feel like I could, but I wanted to go back to the obsession. Do you think that? I feel like I get obsessed over things. I think maybe I even need to be more obsessed. But actually, something I wanted to ask you is: do you like in terms of, a lot of people talk about hard work, right? And I'm not necessarily a believer in hard work. And like what I mean by that is like just putting in time like aimlessly and just spending a ton of time doing something. So maybe you disagree with that.
So working hard versus working smart, or you could just work smart and hard.
Yeah,
right? But
but of course, but
I think
like I'll give you an example. Like right now, right? Like I want to grow my business, and I'm working on sourcing 3 more SKUs.
Yeah,
and it's kind of like, well, like it's not going to take me that much time to source these SKUs. You know what I mean? Like it's like, meh. And the reality is, the money I'm going to make on these SKUs depends on how much of a whole of the market I fill, right? And how much the customers love it. And like, and I'm just willing to take risk, right? Like I'll put, let's say, I don't know, I don't want to say numbers, but well, I guess I will. But let's say I put $20,000 into these SKUs, and I don't know, because there's so much demand for them, I double my money, and now I have $40,000. It's like I could do that in a minute, right? Or I can do that in 10 hours. The market doesn't care how long it took me. So I do agree with you, but like, I don't know, I find that interesting. I feel like the switch, right? Like it's shocking to some people that you can make money for like not working that hard. And even with my previous SKUs, I don't feel like I was like busting my ass per se. There was a lot that I had to learn, and there's a lot of things I had to think about, but I worked pretty intelligently. And I think that, I think that's a thing that a lot of people don't understand, or it's a foreign concept of not exchanging time for money. You know what I mean? Like, I know that is probably like a cliche. Oh my God, you're just exchanging time for money at your job, which is true. You are exchanging time for money, but I mean, not all jobs. Some of them it's value based, right? Mostly sales, commission, or performance based stuff. But yeah, I don't know. So like, what's your opinion on that? Like working hard versus working smart?
I think Jeff Bezos said something about it, about how he's going to teach his kids. I don't remember the details of what he said, but he said something along the lines where I want to teach my kids to make the right choices. Because when it comes down to it, what's going to get you paid a lot of money is not, it's hard work matters, but think about the choices you've made that have made you a lot of money.
Yeah.
Those choices were very important, but you made those choices and, they turned out to be the right ones. So that's why, for me, I don't like to be too caught up into the day-to-day of the business. Like I'm not an operations guy. And if like when my business grows to a higher level where a CEO is needed to kind of like steer the culture in the right way in the different departments, I would not enjoy that either. I'm more, I heard what's his name? It was interview with the guy that founded Lululemon, and that's pretty much what he said. And I really identify with what he said. He said, "I'm always thinking 7 years ahead," and he said that's one of his expertise. Is just identifying trends before they happen. Like he was in the skateboarding world, and he said, "Well, this skateboarding thing's going to blow up. I'm going to jump on it." Okay, sold the company.
Well, actually, interestingly enough, though. There's a great podcast called How I Built This that did an interview with him. He didn't actually make that much money on those skateboarding things. Did you know that?
Well, I heard the story on I heard it on the Vlad Entertainment there, and he was saying that he sold it to a Japanese company for a few million. I think.
Yeah, but look, and actually, you know what the thing? Well, this is a little bit of an aside, but. He did sell it to a Japanese company, but if you consider the amount of time he put in, he didn't really make that much in comparison to having a job. He did make more, but there was he didn't have full equity. Numbers. But I mean, look, I'm not trying to harp on you here, but what he did, a big way that he made a lot of his money to start was he bought a house in Vancouver that appreciated crazily quickly, and actually, funny story. I'll let you get back to what you're saying there, but funny story. When he launched Lululemon, he ran a promotion, and it was, I think it was the first 100 people to show up naked got free clothes. So, anyway, that's some creativity right there. But let's go. What were you talking about? Sorry, what did he say about?
Well, I mean, you said it right there. I mean, when it comes to choices, right? The guy made a good real estate choice, right? And that worked out for him.
Yeah.
I mean, that just reminds me of the lyrics by the great Jay-Z. I just looked them up. The story of OJ. I'm gonna do the rap part right now. He said, "I could have bought a place in Dumbo before it was Dumbo for like $2 million. That building today it's worth $25 million. Guess how I'm feeling, Dumbo."
Damn.
So, I mean. You never know, right? I pulled the trigger on the cryptocurrency stuff, right?
Yeah.
I put a little bit of money into that, and it worked out for me.
Yeah.
But that was just a choice. So sometimes it has to do with luck too, right?
Oh,
so
luck is
huge. Making the right choices, luck, but being prepared for when the luck happens, right?
And the loss.
Yeah.
Anytime you put money in harm's way, you have to be prepared to. Yeah. Accept whether it will succeed or not, right? Like, like when
an opportunity comes because of luck,
yeah.
Do you have the money
that's
to be prepared for that?
That's the thing. You need to finance that.
So,
yeah, exactly. It's actually funny. That was one of my chances. I could have been extremely rich right now, like extremely. I was mining Bitcoins when I was 12 years old.
What are you, a genius?
No, man. Remember my YouTube story? About Justin Bieber or whatever.
This is interesting. I didn't know you were mining Bitcoin at 12.
Yeah,
what the heck?
I was mining Bitcoin.
Why were you doing that?
Well, look. So what happened was, because I was on YouTube at the time, right? And I was on the YouTube at the time, and Bitcoin did a lot of YouTube did a lot. Bitcoin did some marketing on YouTube, I guess. And so I was like, oh shit.
Well, dude, what, at 12 years old, you're like, this is the next big thing.
No, I was just like, oh, cool. I can make $3 an hour mining Bitcoins. Like, awesome. And like the thing is, at the time, so I had like a video card and everything. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna mine some Bitcoins, whatever, cool, you know. So I mined a couple Bitcoins, and at the time they were pretty easy to find. I joined a pool. So the way it worked is you had a pool of. Actually, let's break it down real quick. So the way it works is that your computer goes into a hash. It goes into a pool of people. So
okay, wait. Sorry for cutting you off.
Yeah.
Is this because right now I'm thinking, whoa, is Mark like a child genius or something, or is this a generational thing where it's like, Frank, I'm 26, you're 34. That's what we do at my age. Okay, I had a bunch of friends mining Bitcoin at 12. We're skateboarding and we're mining Bitcoin.
No. I was definitely one of the few people to be doing that. That's for sure. So like, yeah, the way it works is, but I mean, look, here's the thing. I'm not rich right now, so it doesn't matter. But
the point is, you didn't pull the trigger. You didn't continue.
No, I did pull the trigger.
On with it, right?
No, I did pull the trigger. No, but dude, I was 12. Like, how do I convince my parents? Look, at the time, there's a couple of missed opportunities in my life. There's, first of all, the Bitcoin thing that would have made me multimillionaire within the span of, I don't know, a couple of years. Because the thing is, at the time, right? So the way it works is when you mine a Bitcoin, they're found in stacks of 50 coins at a time. So, but the thing is, your chance of finding 50 is significantly lower. So what I did is you can join a pool of like multiple computers, and then they evenly distribute the Bitcoins once they're found or once they're mined to everybody, depending on how much output that computer put in. So and at the time, like, one Bitcoin was not hard to get. Like, one Bitcoin was worth like 50 cents or like $1, you know. So I mined, I don't know, maybe like 3 or 4 Bitcoins, and then it rose up to $20, and then I bought a pizza with it. So that's what happened with that. Nice. But the thing is, look, man, as much as I can say, oh yeah, Bitcoin, dude, there's no way I'm mining something at 50 cents and holding it all the way till 50,000. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, the chance of that happening is slim to none. So it's kind of like, so I don't know if I would have done that, but that was a missed opportunity.
So back to the YouTube thing.
Yeah.
Well, why are you doing a podcast? Is it like, why are we doing this, bro? Should we give up? No one's subscribing.
Oh, we can't give up.
No
dude.
one.
No. Look,
no, man. Dude. No one. Can you tell them to subscribe?
Guys,
again
subscribe to this podcast. Please subscribe to this podcast. You'll be entertained. I mean, look, you guys subscribe. You're gonna be entertained. We're gonna have a lot more fun. We're gonna refine ourselves. You guys are gonna be like, damn, you guys are can't wait for the next episode and hear about Frank's crazy ass stories. And
I mean,
Mark's
we're talking business here, but we're going to go back to dating and in the next episode with Peña. Give you guys that dating advice.
We got to get an entrepreneur person on next soon as well. We got to get some more guests. I think. So if you have any, if you're listening to this and you want someone to be on and you want to get on this show, just let us know. Drop us a line, etaspodcast@gmail.com, or just leave a comment, and we'd love to have them on. And so that would be cool. But yeah. Sorry to interrupt you there, Frank, for that quick plug.
Oh, well, I was asking you why are you, what's your motivation?
Oh, for me, it's more fun. I think for me, it's a lot of fun. I'm like, I just want to have some fun.
You want to talk to some other entrepreneurs too, right?
Yeah.
Tell us about the vacation we were on and how you talked to this guy that convinced you and Paul that he was someone that he really wasn't. Did you want to touch base on that?
I'm sorry, could you say that again? I didn't hear you.
Did you want to touch base on the vacation we went on and how this one guy tricked you and Paul?
Oh God, yeah. Well, he tricked you too. I don't know. I don't want to talk about
Actually,
it too much,
I didn't talk to him at all, really. So I didn't get my time stolen, right? But we're going back to that subject of being naive, right?
Yeah.
Why you have to listen to Dan Peña to not be so.
I mean,
naive.
I still think you should trust people, but don't trust him. You know what I mean? So this guy, I mean, I don't want to talk bad about him too much, but this guy totally made up some there's people like this, like pathological liars that just make up their entire fabric of their life.
I mean, they go on vacation to create another reality for themselves, right? Which is what you should do if you go on vacation by yourself. Why go there and say, hey, I work at Burger King and I save up enough money to come to this resort. You might as well make up a lie, right?
Yeah, that's true.
His lie was
like, I can't believe we believed that lie. It made no sense, dude.
Look, he got in the pool with us.
Yeah.
And he said, what did he say? He said, hey guys, this is basically he said, this is a nice resort, but have you ever been to Temptations? I went to Temptations. You put your foot in the pool and the girl's coming to you.
Yeah.
And I had sex with 2 girls a day, or did he say three? Yeah, I can't believe we didn't go. That's a bunch of lies. Right? We're actually like, man, this guy's interesting character. Let's listen to what he has to say.
Yeah, we're stupid and naive.
He then said, I work for IBM.
Yeah, and I make $500,000.
I could hack any system.
Yeah,
like I could hack this hotel right now.
Yeah. All right, buddy.
And then we were talking about dating apps, and then he was like, hey, Tinder. Yeah, I helped develop some of that, right? And the guy's like 25 years old, and he said he helped develop it. And we're pretty smart guys, right? We're not dumb. We're not too dumb.
I guess we
right?
are, though, aren't we?
Well, I guess we're just a little bit naive, but that has to do with how how honest we are, I guess.
Yeah.
And just believed it, right?
Yeah. Fuck.
But we later found out that it wasn't true. And we found this out because we made a couple of friends while we were out there. And one of the girls was like, this guy said to everybody that I slept with him, but it's not true.
Yeah.
And then we were like Sherlock Holmes. We were like, wait a minute.
We're like, whoa, that's not possible. Your alibi doesn't line up, buddy. And we're like, dude, this guy's a liar. Oh my God. I was heartbroken.
If this guy's lying about sleeping with girls on his vacation, what else is he lying about?
Everything.
It was sad though, because this guy was really entertaining.
He was.
Like, he was the leader of the pack. He was the leader of the pack.
Yep.
And when we're at the dinner table, he was sitting at the head of the dinner table. He was telling all these stories and showing us his $2 million condo,
which is not real.
Yeah, but he did get to live that other life, and like he convinced not all of us, but he convinced some of us for a little bit of time that he was someone else. So now this is not just a business podcast. Now we're talking about real life here. We're talking about real life things that it's an example of life where someone could come into your life and can convince not just you, but the people around you that they're someone that they're not, and then they could take advantage of you. So you got to be careful. You got to listen to Dan Peña so that you don't get fucked over by these people.
Man, this is a plug for Dan Peña. All righty. Yeah. I think we've covered all the bases that we wanted to cover today. Is there anything you wanted to add there, Frankie?
Nope.
All right.
Nope. So next podcast is a dating one.
Podcast.
So
yeah.
Subscribe.
Tune in next week with Tanya. We'll be talking about more embarrassing dating stories. And like, rate, comment, subscribe. Thank you guys for listening to the 3 people. Actually, to the 120 people who watched the last episode, thank you so much. We love you. Drop your name down below. We're going to do a giveaway of free water bottles. So I will personally send you an autographed water bottle from my house and a pair of my underwear too if you want it. So like, rate, comment, subscribe, and enter that giveaway. Thank you guys for listening to the Entrepreneurs Talking About Stuff podcast, and we look forward to entertaining you more in the future.
All right, bye-bye.